Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome back to Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. It's called that because there are 6 golden coins to collect, and we currently have 5 of them with only 1 more to find before we take on Wario. And, as you alluded to last time, for all those who haven't played Mario Land 2, the next golden coin is going to send us into space. But it's not as simple as just like pressing up on that little pathway there that kind of seems to lead up towards the moon. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that, and to get to the moon, we're going to need to go over to this really weird stage on top of this mountain here. That just kind of seems to be completely out of the way and doesn't have anything to do with anyone. Someone who hasn't played this game before would probably think that it's like the Hippo Zone or something like that, but it's actually completely not that at all. Inside of the stage, there are these Hippo guys who have bubbles, and you can float inside the bubble by holding the A button while you're in it. When you hold the A button, you go up. When you let go of it, you go down. Holding it again sends you upwards. And the whole point of this level is to float all over the place and find secrets. But you actually will need to use this bubble to get to the end of the level that we need to reach. It's kind of sad because you can just cheat over the entire level by staying at the very top of the screen holding the A button, but then you miss all of the kind of cool things. And I have to admit, it's actually kind of a neat level. So I always feel kind of bad when I cheat right past it, but so you can use like the bubble, and you can get all these blocks like this, and it's super cool, and there's going to be power-ups all over the place. I think there's even some secrets underneath the start that I missed. I was kind of wondering what was going on there. I was like, did I get a power-up? No, I guess that's just kind of how it looks when I lost the bubble. But I mean, see, there's stuff going on above ground, but if you go underwater, there's even stuff going on. It is honestly a really, really, really neat level. But again, as a kid, I would never even think twice about any of this stuff, because again, if you just float right across the top of the screen, none of it matters at all. Now, there's a secret down here that needs that, but I think it's just coins and maybe a one-up. Maybe a one-up or two. But yeah, I don't know why they would do that. I hate when they do secrets that make you use fires. I seem to never have fire. There's a very easy-to-get money bag directly below the start, though. So if you're looking to rack up some coins, that's one way to go. I honestly don't really have like a go-to place to get money. Also, I just kind of remember that it's really dumb because you have to break that with fire, but then you have to take a hit in order to get in there. Like why? There's no reason that they couldn't have made it big enough for Fire Mario to fit through. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's never really one place in Mario Land 2 that I go to when I need to increase this capacity of my wallet. I kind of just usually pick up coins as I go, and I usually, you can pick up lives fairly easily throughout the game. Although, as I have mentioned, actually quite a few parts ago, if you get game over, you do lose all of your golden coins, but if you turn the game off, like at the game over screen before it actually kind of saves, so like say you lose your last life and just immediately shut off the game, it won't register that you got game over. So I would kind of do that as a kid, so it was kind of cheap, but at the same time I didn't want to lose my golden coins, so you can do that. But yeah, so that's why I was never usually too concerned about coins, or rather lives, because you could do things like that. But it is actually kind of cool because it's one of the Mario games that actually kind of punishes you for getting a game over. I guess you had games like Mario 3 where you would have to replay some levels. Well, I mean, even Mario World was like that too if you didn't get to a ghost house or castle. Or a Switch Palace that you could save. Like, see, you kind of jumped right into my feet there, so I'm not sure why that counts as a hit on me. But maybe we'll find the Fire Flower here somewhere. No, we did not. That we could then use to investigate what that secret was during the beginning level. Is that a Fire Flower up there? Yes, it is. But the question is, how do we get up there? If I bounce off of this dude, that would be pretty awesome. No, everything is totally not awesome. I'm going to be sued now for that. Just as I was sued a few parts ago for mentioning Lego. Actually, I think I avoided mentioning Lego, and therefore should not have been sued. That was a silly death, but again, this level, we could have easily been done it 10 times over by now, but I'm trying to show all of the super secrets. But since I've pretty much shown everything down at the bottom, you can just get into the bubble, hold the A button. You don't even have to hold the right button, because once you have momentum sending you to the right, you can just let go of the D-pad. And yeah, we can talk about whatever we want now. So it's a very nice day in Mario Land today. Again, I'm using that color that I think was recommended for one of the water levels in the Turtle Zone, but it makes the clouds white and the sky blue. Everything you want on a nice summer day. Which, by the way, I guess the weather is definitely getting much nicer here. Maybe even too hot in some cases. Although it's much nicer than the kind of muggy messy weather that we had recently. This right here is kind of an arrow, and if you go straight upwards, there's an invisible M bag. So what you can do here, this is the really funky part. So as you saw, we pretty much just destroyed the whole level. There is actually 2 exits, despite the fact it doesn't initially look like it, but I don't think it actually counts as 2 separate exits. You have the upper one there, which will take you to that, and then directly below that, you have this one right here. So if you take the lower door, it actually boots you right to that pathway that I was talking about. So it seemingly makes the Hippo level completely pointless. But if you go back to the Hippo level and you get the upper exit, which there's honestly, I mean, I was gonna say there's honestly no reason not to. The only way to reach the upper exit is if you have the bubble. So I guess if you lose the bubble somewhere along the way and you end up getting the lower exit, then that kind of stinks. But wow, look how much time it gives you for this level, 700 seconds? I've been complaining in the past about levels not giving you enough time because I have to, fiddle with the time. Like, even boss levels don't give you 700 seconds. I'm not sure who the heck designed the time limit for this level, but they were kind of crazy. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, though, is that you need to get to the top exit if you want to get the super secret exit, which leads you to the super secret zone of the space zone. It's just kind of weird, though, like, if you don't realize that, that the top exit is different than the bottom exit, you're never actually going to find the space zone. Because there's that other level on the overworld map, too, which is just seemingly pointless. So you could easily think the same thing about this one. But I guess there's 2 doors, and usually there's only 1 door. So it's kind of weird. I have no idea. But anyway, what are we going to get here? We are going to get a 1-up, which we kind of need because I made that silly death. Although I would have probably preferred a power-up because the space zone is kind of the most difficult zone, in a way. I mean, it's only 2 levels, really. Look at that moon. That super happy moon. But, I don't know, I always had trouble with it as a kid, but maybe it's not the most difficult zone. I don't know, but it's in space. And I think I have a code to enter, do I? Let me look at my crazy piece of paper here. We totally have a code to enter. And I don't think it's actually that much different from the code that we have in there right now. So we're not going to probably even cut away. And this goes down to be a 3. And this is a 9. Totally not. That didn't change anything. Actually, I think it's... yes, that's right. It actually mostly changes the overworld. It doesn't actually change kind of the hub here at all. I remember now, when I was creating that code, it was mostly for the overworld change, and I forgot that overall the in-level change doesn't look much different at all. So when we die, inevitably, or we actually somehow miraculously beat the level without dying, we will see what that kind of has to do. But that's right. One part of the code is that you can either have it to be dark blue or black, this color in 3rd from the left or 2nd from the right. And if it's blue, you can kind of see a bit of the block. But if it's black, by setting, what is it? Darn it, I'm trying to understand that easier. If you set this to 3, I think I tried to say, no, if you set that to 9, yeah, I don't even remember, I can't even read, or am I trying to say this one? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making things up here. Man, what was I trying to do? I should, this piece of paper here with all my notes, it's the craziest piece of paper ever. Actually, I think that's what it was trying to be. The 3 in the box meant, that's it. People who are just like, surfing YouTube and come across this part have no idea what's going on here. But what I was trying to say is the number 3 is, I meant the 3rd block. You can make this black, but then you don't really you can't see the block at all, pretty much. But it doesn't look too terrible. So you can take your pick, either this code or the one that you saw before. But I think I'm going to go back to the one that we were using before, which was 7230 7232 9723. Just like that. And when we get to the overworld, this will make a lot more sense. It doesn't make any sense now whatsoever. We got these enemies here who circle around these blocks. That will be an important point later, so hopefully everybody's taking notes. We also have a 1-up over here, and I think if we start jumping up to the left, we even get some money bags. So you want to get that 1-up, and then you want to get the 100 coins worth of money bags, which is pretty darn cool. We actually are, it looks like we're going to hit 999 again before the end of the Let's Play, but we totally don't need any more lives. So it's crazy. Also, we got this thing here. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a finger pointing upwards or something like that. I think that if we jump around here, there might even be some more blocks, or it might actually I think it's up here or something like that. So we get all these coins, and I think if we stand here, we can work our way upwards here. Again, I think I pointed this out in the previous part, but it's so weird that invisible blocks in this game don't have coins in them. Like, there's no reason that invisible blocks shouldn't have coins. I don't think there's any other Mario game where an invisible block doesn't at least give you 1 coin instead of just nothing. It's so bizarre. So anyway, that was kind of a weird jump, but again, another heart, which we don't need, but you can totally get up there and get it for yourself if you reach the space zone and you don't have too many lives. Because again, as a kid, it always gave me a little bit of trouble, but I don't feel like it's gonna be that much trouble this time. I don't know. I guess I've just grown so much since 1992, because that was kind of the year that I was born in, and I didn't play this the year that I was born, but I played it not too long after when I eventually got a Game Boy. It was pretty cool. But as you might have seen there was that guy who was supposed to be circling blocks, but I kind of killed him. So now I actually kind of forget where the block is supposed to be that we're looking for. But the point is that he's circling air, and you're supposed to figure out from that, oh, since he's circling that area, there must, be a secret block in the area that he's circling. So if we do that, we actually can create kind of a staircase. I guess it's not really a staircase, more of a ladder of blocks. And we can jump across the universe here. I guess literally, because we're in space. Speaking of space, is this the very first Mario game where you go into space? Again, 1992, kind of a while before Super Mario Galaxy going on there. But we'll get back to that conversation in a second. That is actually a secret exit, which it sends a star into the side of the moon. I always felt so bad for the moon. The moon is just, it's so happy. And we just kind of ruined its day. But before Mario Land 2, the really only kind of Super Mario Brothers games that you had, the series wasn't even around for a decade yet. You had Mario 1, 2, 3, and World, and Land 1. Now, I guess in Super Mario World, it's kind of debatable. Is Star Road in space? I always kind of interpreted it as kind of being like on a really high mountain summit kind of thing. It looks kind of snowy, and the levels, they're not really in space. I always just kind of figured they were really high up, but maybe it's space. I don't know. How do you interpret Star Road? And then from there you have the special world, which the overworld kind of makes it look like it's in space. But then, I mean, none of the levels take place in space. So, I would say that Mario Land 2 is probably the real first time that Mario goes into space, considering it's like, the levels are definitely in space, as implied by the whole spacesuit there, which I guess, Mario learned how to breathe. Without a spacesuit by the time Mario Galaxy came around. Anyway, I think we're missing a secret here. I think if we go back to this part right here, you kind of could have seen that block here, and we fall down here, we get 2 hearts. But basically, the whole gimmick of this level is if you fall in a space where you're not supposed to fall, as we did right here, where there was kind of a bonus, you fall right to the bottom of the screen. And just like that one dastardly level where there was the Goombas and you were supposed to float and get all the coins, if you fall to the bottom, there's no way to get back up and you miss out on all of the secret stuff. So you kind of don't want to do that, so you want to stay on top and get all the stuff. Also, at the very end, there's a really kind of hard to reach thing on the right over here. I've never really understood how you're supposed to make it, but if you go up there, I think there's just a heart for an extra life. But yeah, it's basically you fall, you gotta pretty much miss everything, and you get the door. And that's the secret level. We're 2 coins short of the maximum number of 999. So unfortunately, if we leave the space zone, we have to beat the Hippo zone again, which is kind of unfortunate. So we're probably just going to max out, and then once we beat the space zone, we'll just kind of go and do our thing. And I also forgot to talk about the overworld map, as I was totally supposed to, because we all know that when Andrew says he's going to do something, it totally means it's never getting done. There's a heart up there, which we don't need. It's looking pretty cool along the bottom of the screen there. 99, 999, 50, and then a second ago we had 666. So we got all the different kinds of versions of that number there. We got the flip side of 999, and you flip it around, and you got 666. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. You're kind of supposed to see that guy is circling around nothing, and then that indicates, oh man, there's totally a secret block there, but we're not using that this time. We're beating the level the real way. And we'll see what we can figure out from that. Again, I don't know, the space zone always really threw me off. I think it's probably the boss level. It's actually an auto-scrolling level, which I don't think we've seen one since, like, part 3 or 4. So, get ready for that. And wow, this is just coins everywhere. thank you very much, but, you know, my wallet is full. This is totally The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, where I actually heard that in the HD remake, the wallets are way better. It doesn't max out at, like, ridiculously low numbers like it did in the GameCube and Wii one, which was really silly. It looked like there was kind of a secret block there. Let's see, can we reach the bell? Yes, we... Oh, wow, there's actually even a kind of a thing off to the right there we could have used, because since we have fire, but I think we kind of broke it anyway. Alright, what do we want? What do we want? I'm kind of happy with fire. So, there we go, why not? 3 more lives to add to the already maxed out counter. But what I was talking about on the overworld map here is, as you can see, you kind of have like a nice bluish background there. But if you change the color in the 3rd slot to black, then you have like a really kind of nighttime where it's, you know, pitch black and not kind of a bluish as if, you know, the sun is just setting and the moon and, like, you know, night's just starting. Kind of twilight time. But yeah, also, we don't need to go and change the numbers. I don't think I've ever mentioned, if you press this R, it reverts it to whatever it looked like before. So the R is kind of like the undo button, so I mean it's kind of like reverse. Maybe that's what it's supposed to stand for. I don't know. But with that said, that is the first level of the Space Zone plus the bonus level, and next time should be the very final part of the main Let's Play where we're going to finish off the Space Zone. We're probably going to do some gambling, and then we're going to take on Wario in the castle. Again, still not sure whose castle it is, but we're going to do that next time. So I hope that you've enjoyed this part. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me for the finale. So thanks, and see you later.